Hello, and welcome back to Animated Talk. Today I'd like to talk about Toonheads. Toonheads was a show that I used to watch pretty religiously back in the late 90s. And it was just a show that I really enjoyed talking about the history of animated cartoons, where they would usually show, I think, three separate cartoons. And then in between the cartoons, they would have little factoids and pieces of information about them. Now, I remember these as being really strong shows where it would give you a lot of information about the cartoons. And so going back and watching it, I was hoping to really learn quite a bit about some of these cartoons that maybe I didn't already know. Unfortunately, I found that for the most part, they really weren't as information dense as I thought that they were. For the most part, they were pretty surface level. And honestly, you got about 1/3 of the information that you would get from your average pop up video about what's going on in the video, if you ever watched that in the 90s. So, unfortunately, it was not as information dense as I thought that it was. However, there was a lot to like about watching these old Toonhead episodes. I mean, there was good information in some of them. For example, when they were talking about World War II cartoons, some good information about how the war influenced the cartoons and vice versa, and why these cartoons have stood the test of time and in some cases been banned and unbanned at certain points. And really, the best episodes, I think, of Toonheads were where they were talking about specific directors, such as Bob McKimson or Chuck Jones. When you are learning about their particular style of directing, I think those are some of the more interesting ones because they were able to use clips to prove what they were talking about when it came to the overall style of these directors. For the most part, though, most episodes were a little bit less detailed. For example, the one that you're being shown here is about turkeys. And so they just had random clips of turkeys from different episodes, and most of the factoids in between are very, very light on the information. And I think a lot of episodes were actually more like this, where they were just giving these kind of very quick factoids about cartoons, basically saying who the director was. Every now and then they will talk about the animator or the writer, but that was about it. So most episodes were kind of fluffy, but every now and then you did have ones that were a little bit more information dense and a little bit more interesting. Uh, this isn't the best way to watch these cartoons anymore because, quite frankly, most of these cartoons have been remastered and shown on DVD packages such as the Looney Tune Golden Collection. And MGM has been able to re-release a lot of these cartoons as well. So I don't think this is the best place for you to watch these cartoons, going onto the Internet Archive and watching this show. But it's still an interesting way of looking at some of these cartoons. And every now and then you might be caught up with a certain factoid where you go, "Oh, I didn't realize that. That was interesting." But it's if you're a big cartoon fan like me, and let's face it, that's probably why you're watching this. You probably didn't learn very much if you were watching a Toonheads episode. That's just the reality. But I enjoy them. They're on the Internet Archive. They're freely available. And I hope that you enjoyed just kind of revisiting this show that some of us tend to remember pretty fondly. Maybe they didn't live up to our fond memories, but it's still an enjoyable thing to watch on the Internet. And hey, it's free to watch on the Internet Archive, so why not catch it? I'll talk to you guys later, and hopefully this started an animated discussion in your home. Bye-bye.